Hey everyone, this is DWS Darius and welcome back to the fish room. It's been a while since I gave you guys a video. This is actually my first video of 2023. Definitely a lot going on down here in the fish room. We have some new fish, we have some new themes on my aquariums, and some of my fish went through some natural upgrades. I definitely owe you guys a fish room tour. However, it's just way too much stuff to cover in one video. So I think instead, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a video per aquarium. And our first video is going to be bringing you guys up to speed with my 880 gallon aquarium. Fish are looking fired up and they're definitely ready for your guys' attention. So let's just get straight to it. Okay everyone, so this right here is my 880 gallon aquarium. This is a DIY plywood fish tank. We built this tank back in August of 2020. So the tank is almost 3 years old and it is doing awesome. The fish are bright and beautiful. The plants are getting pretty big. And overall ecosystem is maturing daily. So today I want to give you guys a closer look at all the fish, try to give you guys an idea of their behavior and just my overall experience with this aquarium. So we're going to start off looking at some of the fish. Let's start with the biggest fish. The biggest fish in the tank is my Cichla Temensis Peacock Bass. I've had this fish for about 4 years. When I first bought him he was 7 inches and right now he's possibly 24 to 25 inches long. I don't know the exact measurements of my fish. I refuse to actually take them out and measure them. Especially with these peacock bass, they are fighting fish. To catch them, they would fight, they would destroy my aquarium, they would hurt themselves. So I'm not going to take the risk. But going based on eye measurements, my Cichla Temensis has to be about 25 inches long. This is definitely a personal record when it comes to growing fish. I've kept all different types of fish, from arowana to giant koi to large South American predatorial catfish, but this is by far the biggest fish I've ever grown. So definitely a trophy of a fish for me. I love how beautiful this fish is. Currently it's showing its speckled coloration, but every now and then when it tries to show its dominance, it shows the bars. So definitely a very beautiful fish. And what I love most about this fish is that as big as he is, he's not a threat to the other fish in the aquarium. He pretty much stays to himself. Every now and then he has to put one of the other peacock bass in check. But for the most part, this fish is very peaceful compared to what he could be. So I definitely appreciate that in him. After that, we have my Cichla Mono Peacock Bass. Now this was said to be a Cichla Mono, however I believe it might be either a hybrid or just a very low quality, just because of the lack of color. I have another Cichla Mono in this aquarium, and if you compare the two, there's a big difference. This one is almost a blank canvas when it comes to the color that it should have. However, even though it doesn't have color, this is one of my favorite peacock bass. This is my oldest peacock bass. I've had this one for about 5 years. No, maybe about 6 years. And what I love most about this peacock bass is that it trusts me more than the rest. I could go and I could stick my hand into the aquarium and I can actually pet this fish. Let me see if I could give you guys a quick demonstration. Now, having a fish that's that comfortable with you definitely makes it easy to make that fish your favorite. So at the moment, she is my favorite peacock bass, and I say she because she is a confirmed female. She's laid eggs several times, and I believe she's getting ready to lay eggs again because some of the male peacock bass in the tank are starting to battle each other. In a previous year, she spawned with my Cichla Orinco peacock bass. This is the most aggressive peacock bass in the aquarium. I don't know if it's because of the species or just this individual, but this guy is just a jerk in this aquarium. He likes to bother my Mesoheros Gephyrus because they are similar in color. And he also likes to bother my smaller Cichla Mono because he is a male. And that's where the battle comes in. I mentioned that my Cichla Mono female, she's getting ready to spawn. So these two have been going at it back and forth. Every now and then you catch them chasing each other. And it's kind of an even match. Sometimes my Cichla Orinco chases my Cichla Mono. And sometimes the Cichla Mono, even though he's a smaller fish, chases my Cichla Orinco. So they're back and forth, and pretty soon she will spawn. And I'm curious to see who she'll choose. As I mentioned, she chose the Orinoco 2 years previously. However, her spawns have been unsuccessful. The Mono is closely related to her, so I'm thinking that she might go with him. And because they're closely related, the spawn might be successful. After that, we have my Cichla Azul, one of my favorite peacock bass in this aquarium. I just love the color. I love the contrast of this peacock bass when he swims against the other peacock bass. When I put this fish into the tank, he just exploded with growth. He pulled on about 5 inches and he caught up with the other peacock bass in no time. He definitely shows interest in being tank boss. Every now and then I catch him trying to challenge my Cichla Temensis. Of course, my Cichla Temensis, being a bigger fish, was more dominant. So he's been humble recently, but I believe he's just slowly trying to get bigger. And once he is bigger, he will try again to become tank boss. And then we're going to take another look at my smallest peacock bass, my Cichla Mono. Very beautiful fish. He's a stud. Just recently he started displaying that nuchal hump because he's been trying to impress the female Mono, and he's also been battling the male Orinoco, but definitely a show quality peacock bass who eventually, as he gets bigger, will definitely have a chance of becoming tank boss. Those are all my peacock bass in this aquarium. If you haven't known by now, peacock bass are one of my favorite groups of fish to keep. They're just very sporty looking fish. They're tough looking, they're predators, and they're just amazing. I love the variety. If I had a bigger aquarium, I'd have dozens of them because there are so many different species, so many different patterns and designs. Very beautiful fish. After that, we have my Crenicichla Lenticulata spotted face pike. This is a female. She is about 14 inches long, and this fish is very unpredictable. Sometimes she's the most aggressive fish in the aquarium. Other times she stays to herself. This is one of those times where she spends most of the time just cruising around, staying to herself, not causing any problems. Sometimes she does like to bother my catfish, but compared to how bad she could be, she definitely is okay right now. So yeah, she's just doing her own thing, minding her business, and I'm definitely not complaining. After that, we have my Mesoheros Gephyrus. Lately, he's been getting a lot of attention from my Orinoco, like I said, because they are similar in color, so he hides a lot, but this fish is very beautiful. Now, normally I would feel bad for a fish that's being bullied. However, this Mesoheros Gephyrus, if he wasn't being bullied, he would be bullying other fish. So I'm not going to be too upset that he's being bullied because this guy can be a jerk. But very beautiful fish. He hides a lot, but I don't mind it because it's a natural thing to have fish in your aquarium that are out and fish that are hiding. I think it's just more of a natural effect in the aquarium to have fish that are more elusive. So definitely love him being in the aquarium. After that, we have my female jaguar cichlid. She hides a lot, but not so much by choice. She is the outcast in the aquarium. Somehow all the fish in the tank chose her to be the fish to beat upon, so she's in a corner. I want to put her in my Central American aquarium, but right now she's too big. She will dominate too much over those fish, so she's going to have to stay in this aquarium for a few more months. But yeah, she stays in the corner because if she comes out, she's going to get attacked. It's not to the point where they could kill her. She could still hold her own, but she doesn't want too much drama, so she stays in the shadows. But she definitely is a very beautiful fish, and like I said, eventually I will be putting her in my Central American aquarium once those guys are big enough to handle her. After that, we have the queen of the aquarium, my Oscar cichlid. This fish is not in a rush to grow, and for good reason. Normally I put fish in this into this aquarium. They want to get big fast because they're being bullied and they don't want to be a target. But nobody bothers this Oscar. I don't know why. I'm not complaining, but I definitely don't know why no one challenges her. She just swims around and does her own thing. And I just like the fact that she does that slow motion swim. When the fish does the slow motion swim, it kind of shows that they're satisfied. This is my own theory. When a big fish is doing that slow motion swim, he's kind of content with his environment, and that is the case with my Oscar. Just non-stop swimming in slow motion, and she definitely looks good. After that, we have my non-cichlids. We have 2 Pictus catfish on the ground. I was thinking about taking these fish out because this tank just doesn't promote them. They're bottom dwellers, and this tank has a lot of blind spots for bottom dwellers. So eventually, I would like to take them out. And I also have a Polypterus Endlicheri in this aquarium I want to take out. This fish is, in this scene, he looks pretty small, but he's about 14 inches. When I put him in the tank, he was about 8 inches, so he is growing. But like I said, this tank doesn't promote bottom dwellers, so eventually I will be taking them out. And lastly, I have my ghost knife. My ghost knife is about 14 inches. I keep a little cave for him to be in. But I actually like the ghost knife. I get to hand feed this fish. He is another fish that is elusive in the aquarium. And like I said, I like that. I like having fish that are nocturnal, fish that I could come and just see randomly. I think it just makes the aquarium a little bit more natural. And that is the current stock of this aquarium. Like I said, there are a few fish I want to take out. I don't plan on adding any other fish to this aquarium. Eventually I might have to take out some of my favorite fish like my Cichla Temensis if it keeps growing. These fish can reach up to 30 inches, and while this is my largest aquarium, I believe that Peacock Bass will appreciate even larger. So eventually in the years to come I might have to rehome these fish as they get larger, but as of today this is the stock and I definitely am enjoying it. Besides that, when it comes to the aquascape, we have a lot of plants because plants are amazing. Plants are like my secondary hobby. Once I've seen the benefit of plants in my aquariums, I started keeping them all around my house, and I definitely enjoy plants. So under the water we have a piece of driftwood cascading down, and we have different types of aquatic plants. We have different types of Anubias and Java fern. When I first set up this tank, I had this piece of wood planted, but I had to remove the plants because above the tank I had a fern growing. The fern grew so big it cast a shadow, and the plants couldn't grow because they weren't getting light. I changed the fern, and I was able to add these plants back down there, and they're looking great. The fish enjoyed them. Normally cichlids would destroy them, but I believe in this aquarium they don't really feel claustrophobic. A lot of times fish, cichlids, like to destroy plants because it makes them feel tight and they like to see their entire environment. However, in this aquarium the tank is so big and open that these plants don't really get in the way of fish like my Oscar and the pike, who normally would destroy plants. Other fish like my Mesoheros Gephyrus likes to go into plants, and he's green so he kind of camouflages, and he definitely likes the shade of the plants. So yeah, definitely a nice addition to this aquarium. And then as we go above the aquarium, we have my terrestrial plants. I have a collection of terrestrial plants that I'm growing aquaponically. Aquaponically meaning that the roots are directly in the water, so that means that they're absorbing nutrients directly from the water, which means that these plants are helping me lower my nitrates, which is a great thing. I definitely see a difference having these plants on my aquarium. My water changes are not so demanding. I still do weekly water changes because the more the better, but they're not as demanding. If I read my water parameters, the nitrates are not as high because I have so many plants. So I have some pretty big plants. I have 3 peace lilies, very beautiful plants. They have nice big leaves. These plants are constantly producing flowers, very beautiful. Then I have pothos. Pothos is just a common plant in aquariums, grows very fast, very easy, and just very beautiful. And then I have some smaller plants. I have ivy, I have lucky bamboo, and then I have Monstera anisoni, which is the Swiss cheese plant, similar to the pothos, just with a different texture. A nice collection of plants, and like I said, they help me lower my nitrates, they make my tank look better, and they also provide a little coverage for the fish. Without the plants, the tank would be very bright. I believe that some of the fish like the shadows cast by the plants, and they also like the roots that are in the water. The roots provide some coverage for them and just make the scene a little bit more natural. So that has been a look at my 880 gallon aquarium. Now I'm actually making this outro a couple of days after I made the original part of the video. And notice this guy, such a big difference. At the start of the video he had that huge nuchal hump, and here we are 3 days later, he's been humbled, they put him in his place, and he is no longer showing that nuchal hump. So very interesting how these fish could just change and transform their bodies like that. But yeah, that has been a look at the 880 gallon aquarium. Let me know what you guys think about this tank. If this was your aquarium, what would you do differently? But yeah, that's been that aquarium. As I told you guys, I want to give you guys a full fish room tour. So get ready for another aquarium in my next video. But yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.